Hello, good morning students. How are you? Welcome in my today's class. In today's class, we are going to complete the famous poem Ode to the West Wind. Ode to the West Wind is written by P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley is a famous romantic poet of 19th century. We know that this poem has 5 stanzas and each stanza has 14 lines. In 3 sections, we have already discussed the effect of west wind on the earth, sky and ocean. So, we will start the 4th stanza of the poem Ode to the West Wind. In this stanza, we find an autobiographical elements. This stanza reveals Shelley's sensitive nature and his feelings of helplessness. It contains the pathetic cry of a wounded heart. It is a prayer addressed by the poet to the west wind. So let's start the poem. If I were a dead leaf, thou mightest wear. If I were a dead leaf. Here, poet wishes to be a dead leaf. Dead leaf, here personification has been used. Thou here refer for west wind. Mightest wear. Mightest means power or strength. If I were a swift cloud to fly with thee, a wave to pant beneath thy power and share the impulse of thy strength. Impulse means effect of thy strength. Thy means your, strength means power. West wind's power. Only less free than thou, O uncontrollable. Here, poet P.B. Shelley addresses the west wind, O uncontrollable. P.B. Shelley calls the west wind uncontrollable. If even I were as in my boyhood and could be. The poet recalls that like the west wind, he was also uncontrollable in his childhood. He was uncontrollable, powerful and swift like west wind in his boyhood or childhood. The comrade of thy wandering, comrade means companion or partner. Thy wandering means west wind's wanderings over heaven. Heaven here refers to sky. As then when to outstrip thy sky speed. Outstrip means excel. Sky speed. Sky speed means swift motion. Scare seemed a vision. I would never have striven as thus with thee in prayer in my sore need. Sore means urgent. Oh, lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. I fall upon the thrones of life, I bleed. Here, poet used metaphor for clear his view. Thrones of life means misfortunes, sufferings and troubles of life. I bleed means I suffer. A heavy weight of ours has chained and bowed. A heavy weight of ours means a burden of misfortunes, load of troubles, load of sufferings and pains. Has chained means tied and bowed means bent down. One to like thee. Your poet says that he was also like west wind. He was tameless, swift and proud. In this stanza, the poet established a connection between himself and the west wind. The poet says that he was like west wind. So he wishes that he were a leaf, a cloud or a wave of the ocean, so that the west wind could carry him on its wings. He has a keen desire, the poet has keen desire to feel the power of the west wind. The west wind is uncontrollable. West wind is symbol of power and strength. The west wind enjoys unlimited freedom. So in next line the poet says that he recalls his childhood when he was as swift, energetic and uncontrollable like the west wind. He says that in his childhood he could excel the speed of the west wind. In his childhood, the poet could excel the speed of the west wind. He could defeat it. But at the present time, he is not child. He is helpless and disappointed. We know very well that P.B. Shelley did not like the old conventions, rules and regulations made by government. He wants to reform society. He did not like the evils of society, so he wants to reform the society. But experience taught him that he was alone, he was single, and he was weak and helpless. So he could not reform the society. So he wants to take help of the west wind to destroy the evils of society. In last lines of the stanza, he requests to the west wind to lift him, to save him as a dry leaf, a flying cloud, or a rising wave, because he has greatly suffered in his life and under the weight of his misfortune, he feels almost crushed. He feels totally crushed. Once he was too wild, uncontrollable like the west wind, but now he feels bent down by sorrows and misfortunes of life. So the poet requests to the west wind to save him by lifting him like dry leaf, flying cloud, and rising waves. It is a prayer addressed by P.B. Shelley to the west wind to save him. This is the last stanza of the poem Ode to the West Wind. So let's see. Make me thy lyre, even as the forest is. Thy lyre, thy means your. Lyre is a musical instrument. It means the west wind blows through the forest, so tree causes a mighty harmonies. And here the poet prays to the west wind to blow upon him and make him lyre. What if my leaves are falling like its own? It means, what does it matter if his youth is declining? Its own means forest. Its own used for forest. The tumult of thy mighty harmonies will take from both a deep autumnal tone, sweet thou in sadness. Here paradox has been used. Be thou spirit fierce, my spirit, be thou me impetuous one. It means uncontrollable. The poet once again calls the west wind uncontrollable. Drive my dead thoughts over the universe like withered leaves. Withered means dry leaf. To quicken a new birth. And why the incantation of this verse? Incantation means a magic spell. Scatter as from an unextinguished hearth. Hearth is a fireplace. It contains sparks and ashes. Ashes and sparks my words among mankind, beat through my lips to unawakened earth the trumpet of prophecy. Here poet addresses the west wind as the trumpet of a prophecy. O wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? It is a type of rhetorical question. It means no state is permanent. Autumn is followed by winter, winter by spring. Thus, the cycle of seasons goes on. Society also undergoes such cyclical changes. These line expresses Shelley's bright optimism regarding the future of mankind and his belief in the golden age. The poet says that the best wind blows through the forest, so it makes music out of it. The poet desires the best wind to blow through his heart and produce its sweet music. He begs the best wind to inspire him in his art of composing poems. The poet wants the best wind to spread his message through the world. The poet feels the swiftness and force with which the best wind blows. He wants the spirit of the wind to become his spirit. The poet wants to share the uncontrollable and wild spirit of the west wind and spread his message through it. He wishes his own spirit to be as uncontrollable, swift, and proud as that of the west wind. He appeals it to take his place as he and the west wind have kindred nature. The poet once again requests to the west wind to help him. He feels that his poetry has no results. It appears like dead leaves from the trees. He, however, feels that his poetry may bring a new era, a new golden period for the mankind. He says that the world is like a hearth, and wants to the poet wants his poetry to be spreaded over the world. He requests to the best wind to be a magician and by magic scatter his thoughts among mankind all over the world. It will bring a revolution. Just as the earth is sleeping in winter, similarly the men and women are sleeping in ignorance. The poet P.B. Shelley says that his poetry are to be a prophecy of a new and better life for the world. The prophecy will sound like a trumpet rousing the world from sleep. The revival will be like the return of spring after winter. The concluding line is prophetic. Winter stands for the present evils of mankind, and spring for the golden age. And this poem ends with a hope of optimism. The line expresses Shelley's optimism regarding the future of mankind. The poet, to clear his point of view, beautifully uses rhetorical question: if winter comes, can spring be far behind? If winter comes, can spring be far behind? Has universal truth that nothing is permanent in life. Winter is surely followed in natural course by spring. Similarly, this era of troubles and sufferings will surely be followed by an era of perfect happiness, love, and beauty. So, these lines express Shelley's bright optimism regarding the future of mankind and his belief in the golden age and in the perfectibility of human nature.